A 19-day pause followed the second Flaming Dart strikes. When air attacks against the North resumed on March 2, 1965, they carried the appellation Rolling Thunder. On that date, 15 North American F-25 Republic F-105Ds and 20 Martin B-57s, accompanied by KC-135 refueling tankers and other supporting aircraft, hit an NVA ammunition depot at Zombong, about 35 miles above the DMZ, causing heavy damage. On that first raid, no fewer than 5 aircraft, 2 100DD Super Sabres, and 3 105Ds were lost to ground fire, and the first U.S. Air Force pilot, Captain Hayden J. Lockhart, was taken prisoner. Rolling Thunder presented the U.S. military with the opportunity to test a number of new or unproven technologies. The North Vietnamese Air Force, NVAF, had acquired some 60 Soviet-made MiG-17 jets by 1965. These were guided from the ground by controllers using ground control intercept radar supplied by the USSR. The MiG-17 Fresco was the primary interceptor of the fledgling Vietnam People's Air Force in 1965, scoring its first aerial victories and seeing extensive combat during the war. The aircraft frequently worked in conjunction with MiG-21s and MiG-19s. The MiG-17 could not carry air-to-air missiles and was used most often for ground attack, but could shoot down enemy aircraft with its numerous cannons. Some North Vietnamese pilots preferred the MiG-17 over the much faster MiG-21 because it was more agile. The American fighter community was shocked in 1965 when elderly subsonic MiG-17s downed sophisticated Mach 2 class F-105 Thunder Chief fighter bombers over North Vietnam. From 1965 to 1972, MiG-17s from the NVAF 921st and 923rd FRs would claim 71 aerial victories against U.S. aircraft. These victories included 11 Crusaders, 16 F-105 Thunder Chiefs, 32 McDonnell Douglas F-4 Phantom IIs, 2 Douglas A-4 Skyhawks, 7 Douglas A-1 Sky Raiders, propeller-driven strike aircraft, 1 C-47 cargo transport aircraft, 1 Sikorsky CH-3CC helicopter, and 1 Ryan Firebee UAV. The principal Air Force tactical strike aircraft during Rolling Thunder operations was the F-105 Thunder Chief. Mass-produced after the Korean War, it served throughout the war in Southeast Asia. A newer fighter, the twin-seat F-4 Phantom II, manned by an aircraft commander and a weapons system officer, initially was used in a combat air patrol CAP role. Committed to battle gradually, it flew its first strike mission at the end of May 1965 and its first armed reconnaissance mission in August. A third Air Force fighter, the twin-seat F-111A, reached Thailand in March 1968, underwent combat evaluation that year, and was withdrawn. Subsequently, in the later stages of the war, this sophisticated night and all-weather aircraft returned to Southeast Asia and flew regular combat missions. A number of older, lower performance and more vulnerable aircraft were used briefly or sparingly over the North. The F-100 Super Sabre and the F-104 Starfighter saw action chiefly in a support role above the DMZ. Some starfighters flew strike missions, and the B-57 Canberra light bomber was employed largely in night operations. Eventually, all were withdrawn from northern missions, with the F-100 being used primarily for close air support in South Vietnam. The B-52 Strato forces made their debut over North Vietnam in April 1966, with a strike near Mu Gia Pass. During the next 6.5 years, these heavy bombers were employed against enemy targets in North Vietnam's Panhandle, staying far away from the dangerous SA-2 missile sites located mostly in the Hanoi-Haiphong area. Based initially on Guam and later in Thailand, the B-52s were primarily employed to interdict North Vietnamese lines of communication leading to the DMZ and the Ho Chi Minh Trail in Laos. On these missions, they normally dropped 25 to 30 tons of ordnance. General John P. McConnell, General Curtis LeMay's successor as Air Force Chief of Staff, remarked on the irony of the use of these strategic bombers to hit tactical targets. But it was only one of several improvisations introduced by the Air Force in waging the unorthodox air war.